Hey guys, we are going to be talking about the infamous Star Wars Death Troopers. Now, I don't know about you, but when I saw these guys, girls, and aliens in Rogue One, I was like in love with this outfit. I wanted to see more of these dudes. I wanted to see them in action. And yes, Rogue One did give us a little bit of a taste of that, but we just want more. And Obi-Wan, there's a little teaser in there as well, but I think we still have yet to see the story of the Death Trooper. Now, just to give you some context here about who they are, the Death Trooper is obviously an evolution of the standard stormtrooper. They are an elite fighting force for the Empire, so they're specializing in stealth, espionage, and sort of lethal missions where it's going to be a shoot to kill. They only serve the Empire, and they serve high-ranking officials within the Galactic Empire. So Krennic was obviously a very big fan of Death Troopers. He liked to surround himself with that protection, and there are many officers and captains and high-level ranks that do the same. It's a kind of sort of like wimpy way out for a lot of Imperials, because they know that once they've got Death Troopers with them, they're essentially like unstoppable bodyguards. However, we do see a lot of weakness within Rogue One with them, which I think in some areas could be a little bit unfair, because the reality of a Death Trooper is that they've already got a lot of battle experience. They're not going to turn up as Death Troopers. They're ranked to a Death Trooper from an existing unit, Stormtrooper, Bike Scout, or whoever it is within the battalions. They're going to move on to become a Death Trooper. So they're going to go through that battle training already. So they're obviously fighters out of the box. Now, their sort of tallness and intimidation comes from the fact that they've been hand selected. So we see that height of a Death Trooper is very intimidating. That is a deliberate factor. They're not going to want to choose people who are sort of small and sort of, are not above the eye line for these big sort of panoramic battles. They want Death Troopers to come from the back, and they want them to be sort of that last resort of, oh my God, it's the Death Troopers, we're finished, basically. And you see that in Rogue One again on the battlefield, where the Death Troopers are always coming in at a latter point of the battle, so it's almost like a sweep-up mechanism for anyone that's left. Now, they are an incredible shot, so their marksmanship is second to none. And in fact, their sort of expertise comes from that long-range assault. They are good at hand-to-hand, and they're deadly. However, their huge area of expertise is those long range shots. So we're talking about sniper shots, we're talking about those long range pick shots where they're just going to pick off particular rebels, particular people or troublemakers who are causing issues for the Empire. Now, underneath the suit, we see a little more of a softer side to a Death Trooper. So in Rogue One, we naturally, there's a feeling within a Death Trooper that there's more to it than just a standard soldier, and there is. Their communication is scrambled for their own community. So when we hear those voice comms, we hear that sort of muffling noise. That is because that's a Death Trooper scramble for their own communication. And this in turn creates this sort of like inner circle for a Death Trooper. So where they speak to one another, where they talk about issues, it's not like Stormtroopers where it's, out in the open and they're sort of slagging off people and officers around them. The Death Troopers have their own club, essentially. And this creates a sense of loyalty and brotherhood within the ranks. And that sort of loyalty on the inner circles is very, very powerful. So this is another reason why the elite generals and top tier admirals within the Empire really want Death Troopers over droids, because that loyalty can get them to new heights, where something like a droid, it's going to be very unilateral in their decision making. They're going to fight to protect, and then that ends there. Death Troopers can go above and beyond. They can ask them for particular espionage or missions where perhaps a droid wouldn't understand. They can ask a Death Trooper for those softer skills, which are going to really help in infiltration. So they're an incredible unit. They look amazing. I mean, I think they're one of the best Star Wars outfits going, and we want to see more of them. I'm going to do some more videos around the detail and go a little bit deeper, but I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an overview there of who they are, and let's go further.